Hey everybody, today we're going to be using the e.l.f. to the Rescue palette, collaboration with Jay Kissa. This palette is limited edition and you can't get it anymore, but luckily there's tons of palettes that have the same colors, so it doesn't really matter. Today we're going to be just using these top three colors just to make a sunset look. And right here I am showing you the brushes we're going to use today. And they'll also be in the description too, and you can use whatever brushes you want, but these are what I use. Alright, so I am going to start off using my Morphe blending brush just with this white shade out of my Morphe palette. You can use whatever color you want. You can use one that's similar to your skin tone, or you can use white. I always use white mainly because I'm white. And then I am just going to use the yellow shade here. Now a lot of yellow shades are typically hard to get right. Now when it comes to e.l.f., they are cheaper, so you do have to work a little bit harder, but that doesn't ever stop me. I can use whatever palette and make it work. So I'm just gonna use this flat shader brush just to put this in my inner corner, and I'm just going to use like little dabbing and swiping motions and then just bring it up a little bit into the crease. That way we can start blending the crease when we're ready. And then I'm going to take another clean brush and I'm going to go into the orange shade right here. Just load her up, tap off the excess of course. You always want to start small and then add more product as you go. That way you don't have too much fallout. Plus, you can control how much color you have going where. And I'm just going to do the same process here. Just put it right next to the yellow shade. So I'm just building up the orange color here. And then I'm going to start bringing it into the crease a little bit. Just like I did with the yellow. Just to help the blending process when it comes to the crease. Because when it comes to these colors, they all blend together so beautifully, so I just try to bring it up as I can. So I'm going back to this brush that had the yellow on it, just adding a little bit more just to make sure it's blended, there's no harsh lines and such, and make sure it's still super bright yellow. I like to do this throughout the process, that way I don't lose any intensity. Because with cheaper shadows sometimes that can happen. So here I'm going to go in with just a little bit more of a fluffy brush with some more of that yellow shade. And I'm just going to pack it on there and get off any excess that I want. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start blending these harsh edges that I've got going on here, just to create that softness before we go into the red shade. It just makes me feel better getting them harsh lines. They just bother me. And then I'm going to go back in with the orange shade on that same brush we started with and just add any more color that I see fit, because I want to keep the intensity like I said before, and you'll see me do this throughout the video. So I'm going in with a clean brush, the more fluffy brush, and I'm going back in with that orange, getting off the excess, and then just adding some orange into the crease, because before we just used a little bit of yellow and blended, and I just wanted to add some more orange. So now I'm going back in with the small brush with the red, and I'm just going to be packing this on my outer V, just slowly building up the color and going a little bit into the orange. So I'm going to go into a fluffy brush with the red, and I am just going to add a little bit more into the crease to add some more depth and kind of blend it into that orange. But I try not to go too far into the orange at this point. I'm just trying to build up the color a little bit. So right here is a crucial part for me. I like to look back and see if there's any other harsh lines or any color that I need to add, if it looks a little bit faded somewhere, or if I like blended too much and took away some of the color. So this is when I go back and add any color that I need to. For the most part, it is on the lid, because as you're blending the crease and such, you know, you kind of get down there where you don't need to be, especially when you use a fluffy brush. And I will say that whenever I'm using my brushes, I do hold them further down on the handle. That way I'm not putting too much pressure. If you use too much pressure, I feel like you can take away more blending than you're wanting to. So yeah, I'm just going to go back and forth to these colors, make sure they're all popping, and then go back in with the fluffy brush. And I think this one had just a little bit of orange on it, which is fine because it's like the perfect shade to blend into the crease, because you know they all look pretty together. And I'm just going to go back and forth in these sweeping motions just until I feel like the blending is good enough. And you know, like I say, blend until your arm hurts. So here I'm just going to take my powder brush that I use underneath my eyes, and I'm just going to get any excess powder that has fallen. And then I'm going to go back in with that yellow shade on a small dense brush and just go a little bit on the lower lash line just to add the color where I want it to be. And I usually try to mirror wherever I did on the top to the bottom, but you know, sometimes I like to change it up. Sometimes you can do one color altogether, or you can stick to two. It doesn't really matter. You can be creative with this. But no matter what you do, just stick to a brush like this where it's small and dense. That way you can be very precise and you won't go too low onto your lower lash line. You just want to keep it nice and tidy. So I'm going to go into the red shade, and this is the only other clean brush I had, no lie. So just use whatever you want. You can use an angled one, you can use a straight one. It doesn't really matter. Just add the color on there. And I just like go back and forth if I need to, step back, look at it. But like I said before, this is like the easy part right here. You just add the color, make sure it's blended. So right here, I'm going back in with that first brush that we used that had a little bit of that white, but at this point, it doesn't really have that much on it right now. I'm just going to go back and make sure that everything is completely blended with no extra product on it. And then I'm going to go back on the white shade with this little small brush and just add a little bit into the inner corner. I was thinking about adding glitter, but sometimes like a matte look is just what I'm feeling. And then you can also add some color into your waterline. Now sometimes I go for white, sometimes I go for nude. It kind of just depends on how I'm feeling, and today I wasn't feeling super extra, like I said, with the glitter and such. If I was using glitter, I'd probably use white because it'd be like bam. But now I'm just gonna add in some eyeliner, and usually when I do looks like this, I try not to do a big wing, because for me it kind of just like takes away from all that blending you did, and I just like to have, you know, just a clean little line, just to make sure that your falsies blend in nicely and they look amazing. So I curled my lashes and added some mascara, and then I'm going to pop on some lashes, of course, because it just makes the whole look come together. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you have anything else that you would like me to try out, do a tutorial for, and I hope you guys are also excited about the color series that I'll be doing soon. So keep an eye out for that. Alright, love you guys. See you in my next video. Bye!